Introduction to Evolution. Well, doesn't everyone believe it? Why in the world would we doubt it? Shouldn't we believe everything that our teachers told us? Well, this course will help you learn more than 95% of what people know in our country regarding the subject of the theory of evolution. Now, this is especially true for teachers and professors in our universities and schools. Well, how can you say that, you might ask? Well, I was a teacher for 27 years, and I believed what I was taught too. Most of us teachers teach what we learned in our schools and universities, unless we go beyond the typical textbook in nature show and begin doing our own research in unconventional books, magazines, etc. So, I'm not saying that any of your teachers or professors lied to you on purpose. But just like me, they simply believed what they were taught. But don't scientists agree that evolution is a fact? Well, by no means. There are literally thousands of scientists, and this number is increasing all the time, that admit that the theory of evolution is scientifically impossible and has huge flaws in it. Literally thousands of biologists, engineers, geologists, etc., are now admitting that the scientific evidence just does not agree with the theory. But I thought scientists were infallible, some might say. Well, that cannot be true because scientists disagree with each other in almost every area of science. But it gets much worse than that. Scientists can be influenced by pressure and politics. I remember a few years ago when certain politicians were pushing the man-made global warming idea. Well, many scientists and politicians were quite embarrassed to discover that those at East Anglia University, that is a university that gathered and distributed their findings to other agencies, had been changing the numbers in order to make the data agree with their preconceived ideas. So scientists were willing to exchange their scientific integrity in order to gain political advantage. And this global warming idea was extremely political, and it still is. By the way, now because of these findings, it's been changed to climate change. Well, numerous scientists now agree that this man-made global warming idea was one of the greatest frauds in recent history. But however, many in the mainstream media and the school system still do believe the idea. The theory of evolution is just as political as man-made global warming, if not more so. And we will look at the reason for this at a later time. But one thing is sure, some of the best scientists in the world disagree greatly on this subject, and the debate is far from being settled. But before we can go any further, we must look at what evolution is. But let's first look at what it is not. Evolution is not change. Okay? Change in and of itself has nothing to do with evolution. Number two, it is not microevolution. When we talk about microevolution, it's the different changes and differences between one creature and another, maybe in the same species or maybe outside of the species. But let's say a change might happen because of breeding. For instance, with canines or dogs. Okay, you see a lot of different kinds of dogs, but that does not mean that there's any evolution taking place. And number three, it is not evolution as used most commonly. That would be intelligent design. Okay, evolution is normally used today, probably close to 98, 99% of the time, it's used in the sense of things like the evolution of the automobile, or evolution of the airplane, or evolution of the computer. Okay, but all of those have to do with intelligent design, because intelligence is what made them, intelligence is what improves them, and that is the so-called evolution that takes place as they get better and better. So when we're talking about evolution, then what is it? It is change that causes one kind of creature, that is an organism, kind of plant or an insect or whatever, to change into a completely different kind of creature. By proclaiming the theory of evolution, a person takes on the burden of actually being able to prove that this kind of change could occur and actually did occur. The burden of proof is automatically taken by anyone that proclaims the theory of evolution. First of all, no extreme miracles are ever allowed. Miracles that is miracles that have been determined to be entirely impossible without some outside force or influence, such as intelligence or a creator. By definition, nothing but the natural is allowed. Well, in the next few days, we will look at all the facts, well, at some of the facts that cause all of these burdens of proof to fail. And in the next few months, we will see how this theory fails scientifically in literally dozens of ways. And we will begin looking at the fossil evidence in the next video. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.